Did you know some of the offshore wind turbines that they're planning on installing actually float? You and I have an insatiable appetite for electricity. Come with me and we'll look at the issues relative to wind farms and the communities that they serve. This is the Wind Farm Guy. Hi, this is Dennis Stout. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Wind Farm Guy. Today I am in Oregon. I am at Oregon State University here with Dr. Pedro Lomonaco. And Dr. Lomonaco, would you tell us what the facility is, where exactly we are, and what you do here? Let's start with that.
Okay, this facility is called the OH Hinsdale Wave Research Laboratory at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon. And we do physical model testing of marine energy and coastal structures subject to waves, fundamentally subject to waves and storm surge.
Right. And in this facility, what's behind us here is a large basin, which is basically a giant wave pool, only a whole lot better than what you and I go to at a local water park. And in the adjacent room is a flume that is 15 feet deep and over a football field long. And they can create waves. And they do wave studies here, and that's why I'm here talking to Dr. Lomonaco, is because if you have turbines out in the ocean, they're dealing with a lot of waves. They're dealing with, well, in fact, there's a lot of challenges there. Dr. Lomonaco, could you kind of explain what the challenges are for offshore wind and floating winds too?
Well, offshore wind has the challenges of being in an environment that is very harsh. That includes wind, extreme winds, and also waves and extreme waves, so not necessarily happening both at the same time, plus a number of other things, including currents and interaction with other places where the life is growing, fisheries, places with sand or mud. So the challenges are humongous in the sense of having to interact and building something that is going to be affecting a number of other things and is going to be affected by a number of other natural phenomena.
Right. And I know some of the turbines, offshore turbines, are mounted to the ground. I mean, they go all the way down to the seabed, and now we're talking about floating. What's the difference? Why would you choose one over the other?
Fundamentally, the reason why you choose one or the other is of technical feasibility and economical cost. The cost of building beyond certain depth is prohibitive for offshore wind.
And what depth is that? Is
anywhere between 40 and 60 meters. Beyond that point, building something that is fixed sand at the bottom is too expensive. There could be another reason, is also the characteristics of the bottom. If the bottom is made of rock, for example, it could be way more expensive to build it in and fix an offshore wind turbine in the bottom than if it's just sand, for example.
True. So it's just a cost thing. If it's too deep, you don't want to put the foundation down there. Or if it's, you need a sandy bottom, you need soil essentially to put a foundation in.
That's correct.
And you need that really for both, but especially for the turbines that are mounted to the seabed.
Mm-hmm. There are solutions for hard bottoms. It is called GBF. It's a gravity-based structure, which means that it's resting on a single place based on its own weight. But it is not necessarily applicable in everywhere, especially if the bottom has a very steep slope. That's difficult to put.
All right. And we've been visiting for a little while, and you mentioned a little while ago that floating wind turbines, I mean, that's been in the works for 20 years, is that?
It has been in the books and in the intention of developing technology for a number of years, particularly because the need of finding a way of installing a floating offshore wind has been there since long time. And the reason is very simple. The wind in deeper waters is cleaner, is stronger, and is better than what you find in onshore solutions, for example.
Sure, because when you get to shore, you start having surface obstacles, which is creating all sorts of other anomalies within the wind.
That's
sure,
correct.
Sure. Okay, let me ask you one final question. If there is something that you wish that the general public knew about offshore wind or floating offshore wind, what would that be?
Well, for me, the most relevant thing that was recently happening is that there is a solution. There is it was not expected to happen so soon, but maybe in the last 3 or 4 years, the technology is out there, is being deployed, and is being installed. The challenges have been partly overcome. There is a number of things that needs to be done in the lab and also in the field. And I think for the general public, it's interesting to finally see that there is a solution that is already implemented in the world.
Great, thank you. If you like what I've said today, what we've discussed today, be sure and click like and subscribe below. If you have some comments or want me to address a particular topic relative to wind farms, be sure and leave me a comment as well. Thank you very much. I sure appreciate you joining us today. And this is fascinating stuff. America is just now getting into the offshore wind game. We have a few turbines off the coast on the East Coast, but there's a whole lot more on the horizon.
That's correct. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Dennis Stout, and I'm the Wind Farm Guy. Thank you for watching. Working together, we can make good energy decisions and save our planet. I am the Wind Farm Guy.